Hello, can anybody hear me out there? I'm not sure what happened to my video. It was working before I started the stream here. Oh, that's weird. Well, that's why this is a test run, I suppose. So if anyone can hear me, throw something in the chat out there, would you please? So I know the audio is working at least. I know there's at least at least 3 or 4 people in the audience right now. Calvin, what's up, Coding with Calvin? Can you hear me, Coding with Calvin? Okay, so audio's working, but my camera went away. I don't know what happened there. See, yeah, Visual Studio, no face. Right, yeah, yes, that's what I'm seeing too on Streamlabs here. But before I launched, video was showing up just fine. I'm wondering what's going on here. Let's see. No. Let's see, I can turn links off and on. Okay. Logitech, off, on. Not doing anything. It's got the right camera. Is it open in something else? I don't think so. Zoom is closed. There's nothing else that takes video. Just open up camera, see what happens. Okay, camera's working fine. That's weird. Well, let's I don't know. Let's try adding another one, I guess. Add new source, and I want to get what is it called? Camera, I assume. Video capture device. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I just had to re-add it. I don't know. There I am. Was it worth the wait? Okay. Just shrink this down. So I don't have a green screen set up yet. Calvin, in fact, the green screen you gave me doesn't really fit back here in my new office configuration. Plus, it's a little flimsy. I think I might have bent or damaged something. We still have it. It's over in the other room. My son just used it for a school project, but I've actually ordering one of those green screens that fits on the chair. That's a better fit for my new office configuration. So that's what we're going to do there. So if you joined the chat and you saw the chat rules, you might notice that there's a also, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a bang help for commands. That is actually, I don't think that's going to work right now because I've got the bot that I wrote years ago. It's turned off right now because it's not going to work for me anymore. It needs upgrading, needs some work, and that's what I thought about coding today while I kind of test out this whole setup, see how things go, see how I deal with getting back in the swing of things. So that's what I'm going to work on today. And I've got a meeting at 4 p.m. Eastern, so about an hour and 10 minutes or so of streaming today, just to get back in the habit and get on with it. I've got actually a much bigger project in mind for when I get back to a regular cadence of streaming, which should be twice a week. I'm not going to tell you what that is yet, but it's very cool. I'm very interested in it. No, it's not a Visual Studio extension. That's not really my jam. That's more Coding with Calvin's jam, is extensibility, Visual Studio stuff. So maybe you should get on there and start building one of those on your stream, Coding with Calvin. Coding Bandit, hello. Buongiorno to you as well. Thank you for hanging out while I get back into the habit of streaming and get some of the kinks worked out. Doing some actually coding today. I don't really know if this is going to go well or not. So I'll kind of tell you the situation here. Let me get some notes out, and I'll show it on the screen here. Don't have that nice Windows 11 notepad there, but maybe that's coming soon. Actually, I think this computer has some sort of issue. I can't put Windows 11 on. Like, it doesn't have, I forget what kind of chip it is, but I don't have that on my motherboard or something. So maybe I can't do Windows 11. Anywho, so what I've got is a chatbot, and this chatbot, you had to buy a new machine, Windows 11. So my laptop, my Couchbase issued laptop supports Windows 11 just fine. So I'm using it on there. I get the nice tabbed notepad and everything. Not that I really need it because I have Notepad++. So anyway, I've got a Twitch chatbot. It's got some issues. So one, it was built, 2 to 3 years ago, something like that. And that alone is not a problem, except that it's using a possibly very old, I think it's called Twitch. What is this called in here? It's called TwitchLib, very old TwitchLib version. So it might not work. It might. I have no idea. I haven't tried it yet. But I don't know if the older version still works with the current Twitch API. I have been out of the picture for a couple years, I think. So I don't know for sure. I know that it's using a very old version of Couchbase, which is 6.0. Again, not a problem. I don't know if 6.0 is technically still in support window, but again, that's not a problem. The problem is that I want to use Capella. Which is the DBAS version of Couchbase, which wasn't around back when I started the streaming. Let's see, what do we got here? Some more comments. TPM. That might be it. It's some sort of security feature, I think, or something. Maybe it's TPM. Went to Micro Center on a Saturday. Hubby did the build. It's now on the kitchen counter where I get things backed up. Coding Bandits. So I've been out of the game for a while. Who is Coding Bandits? I'm going to say the initials CP. Is that who you are? Yep, okay. Carrie. Yeah, I thought so. I love Micro Center. Love it. I have a bunch of junk here on my desk for home automation projects. Just kind of half-finished home automation projects. Here, I'll show you one with Micro Center type stuff. So here is, this is supposed to be a smart outlet to monitor my, let's see, washing machine. Was it a washing machine? Yeah, washing machine. And as you can see, I've got some probes hooked up to it because I'm trying to flash it with ESP Home. It's not going well. Here's my ESP Home plug. Anyway, that's just one of many half-finished home automation projects that's sitting here on my desk. You need some new designs for my Twitch channel? Yeah, I could use some new designs, actually. My short friend, Carrie. Look, all my friends are short friends, pretty much. Except for, what's his name? Oh, gosh. Did a podcast with him. I've seen him at conferences. Let's see. Let's see if I remember who it is. Chase Oakwine. Chase Oakwine. He's about the same height as me. Everybody else, you're all short. So let's see. There was some discussion about Twitch channel designs, I guess. Is this Carrie's hubby? Is that what's going on? Anyway, or no, maybe it's Carrie's son. Maybe, I don't know, something like that. One of those two things. But yeah, I could definitely use a fresh coat of paint on Twitch. I generally want to keep it pretty Spartan, but you know, some bells and whistles are fine. Yeah, I'm pretty easygoing. It doesn't need to be super fancy. I mean, if we get really serious, Couchbase has a designer that he's always super busy, but potentially engage him and do something really slick. But that's not really important right now. Okay, he graduated high school after 2 years in Media Career Center. He's fluent in Adobe. Oh, okay. Well, that's already he's more skilled at design than I ever will be. So this is something new at Twitch that's I think I knew about, but I haven't experienced yet. Is these little ads, these little pop-up banners that show up down here, and I think I turned that on, and I assume that I get some sort of cut of that ad revenue. I don't know. I don't expect it to be a ton because right now Twitch says there's 5 people in the channel. So, in fact, this viewer count needs to move up, be on top of my camera. There we go. Twitch says I have 4, or Streamlabs Twitch plugin says I have 4. Okay. Anyway, I want to use Capella. Capella right now is basically, and there's more complexity to this than I'm going about to say, but is basically 7.x. So I'm a major version behind in my code, which is not a big deal, except that the main thing is scopes and collections. Previously in Couchbase 6, literally 6.0, there was no scopes and collections. It was only buckets. So in 6.5 technically, and then later it was officially supported, scopes and collections were actually introduced, which gives more organization to storing the data, but it means that I don't think, I think I might be on SDK 2.x, so I need to upgrade my SDK usage a full version. Lots of breaking changes there. So let's see, blog post. You put a microcontroller in a thermal pouch and was set up to send a notification when the dryer finished. Should you put it in the dryer itself? Oh my gosh. What does it use, a battery or something? How's that going to work? No, mine is all about just sensing the power level. I think this is what Seth Peter Johnson did, like this exact thing. Although he clearly is better at it than me. I can't get the ESP home to work, but it just senses the current draw or voltage or wattage or whatever it is on the power. Obviously, when the washing machine is working, it will draw more current than if it's not. Oh, you're talking about a dryer, which is a different issue because dryers typically, in America anyway, I don't know about other countries watching, but it's a 220 plug, which is different than the standard plug that you have on most appliances. And they don't make a smart plug, at least that I know of, for 220 just yet. So if I have it, it's probably over on the desk over there. But there's something called a sensor, basically, and you don't connect it to the wire, but you kind of have this little sensor that goes you put the wire through, and it's able to sense voltage that way without being connected to it. It can still sense like a magnetic field, or I don't know, some sort of science behind it. So that's something else that's on my to-do list. Also going to use a Raspberry Pi Pico for that one. But I'm having trouble with the Raspberry Pi Pico for my water softener sensor. Because it's written in Python, I'm pretty sure I did something wrong and it just keeps crashing out. I assume it's some sort of memory leak or something that, eventually Stack Overflow or something, and it crashes after an hour or two. So I got to go through that. And I might do that on a stream, maybe a bonus stream. Bring out that Python code and maybe use some Chat GPT on it and figure it out. Let's see. Yeah, so you did use a battery. That seems like a tough project. Something that's going to rattle around in there for 40 minutes potentially. Circular sensors. Yes, I don't know if that's the name of it exactly, but I think you know what I'm talking about. It's like a blue thing, kind of like a plastic with a hole in it, and it's got a cord coming off of it that you connect to, whatever else to read the settings. So, anyway, this is what I got to do to upgrade my Twitch chatbot. Is possibly update the Twitch lib library. I have to do some testing, see if I need to do that. Probably do. And then I need to update the code that uses Couchbase, which is some work. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is some work to do. Maybe I'll use some Chat GPT. Something I want to do a lot more on this channel is try out Chat GPT for upgrading from some SDK 2x to SDK 3.x. We'll see how that goes. I've done a little bit of experimentation with that. The thing is that ChatGPT tends to not want to, for whatever reason, it doesn't really build the asynchronous code unless you tell it to. And even when I tell it to, it kind of half does the asynchronous code. So the thing is with SDK3, it's all asynchronous. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just using ChatGPT free for now, but I do want to in this stream. I'm going to be purchasing ChatGPT Plus to use that. I'm also trying to get GitHub Copilot, which shouldn't be a problem, but I do want to get the chat, which is, I believe, GitHub Copilot X, which is kind of a private preview right now. I'm working on ways to, some back channels to hopefully try and make that happen. And then I might even use some Google Bard as well. Just kind of use the whole gamut of those LLMs and see how they can help. Compare and contrast, see how far we can get with them. So anyway, let's take a look at some code here. And I might even just open up a ChatGPT here. ChatGPT is slick. Also think about using the Azure OpenAI service on top of it for some Azure-y goodness. Okay, maybe. Maybe I'll do that. I believe that's what Copilot's using, right? So if I use Copilot, then I will give that a try as well. So here we go. Here's ChatGPT. I got it open here in another window. That's one of the nice things about stuff like Copilot and Copilot Chat is that it can be right here in the same screen as Visual Studio. It can be kind of a co-window. Maybe Calvin knows. Is there a way to embed a browser window in Visual Studio 2022? I don't think so, but that would be kind of cool if I could just put ChatGPT right into a window, even though it's not going to technically be interacting with the code. Via an extension, of course, via an extension. Do you know of any extensions that can do that? Again, not that I would probably use it in the long term, but it might be interesting to know about. So, okay. Iframes? yeah. Is there an iframe in Visual Studio? Visual Studio is not a web application, but yeah, there's nothing like that. Oh, you're saying easy to create one. WebView 2 shipped. I think I just gave you an idea for an extension, Calvin. I think you should get busy on that on your own Twitch stream. To embed a web page of your choice into a Visual Studio window that I could, post up here on the right side and copy and paste back and forth between ChatGPT. Can embed it in OBS though and overlay it? Yeah, I could, but then that doesn't really help. That helps the viewer, doesn't really help me, right? Because I still have it on my second window. Okay, so let's see. Let's just run these tests and see if any of those still work. Might be a good place to start. Where are my tests? We got options, bro. I got you. Well, I say bada bing, bada boom. Unit tests. Unit test Explorer. That's what I want. Why is it over there? I want it over here. There's no unit test showing up in here. What's going on? I know there are unit tests. What's going on? Wait. Oh, okay. Now it shows the ones I have in the file I have open. But I want for the whole solution. Okay. Calvin will be right back. Unit test Explorer. Again, here over here. No, I don't want live unit testing. Not yet anyway. Include all tests. Start to discover and run tests in your solution. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is live unit test. No. I want unit test Explorer from ReSharper. Yes, this is it. But why is it only showing 2 tests? Can I just let's see. I want the resharper. Let's try this one. And maybe because I had to compile it. That makes sense. Unit tests, explore. Okay, let's just try rebuild all. Yeah, I've got some errors clearly, but where? No unit tests. Okay, I don't know. Let's just try fixing these errors first. See what the deal is with this. We're missing assembly reference, but there it is right there. Let's see. Not tests. Because this wasn't a test, right? This is in core. Okay. Well, I know I got to update this eventually. I mean, just something I have to do. So we're going to go to 3.4.6, which is a pretty big jump. Update that. This is the dependency injection library for injecting Couchbase stuff into ASP.NET. Okay, and I'll also need to update the actual client, which I have installed separately. I don't necessarily need to, but just wanted to have those both listed there explicitly because this is actually a dependency of that. So why didn't this one go? Okay, all right. Still getting some errors. What systems diagnostics is doing there. And dependency injection. So where is that error? I'm not seeing it listed here. There's no red squiggles or anything. Okay, so this is the web project. This seems to be, maybe I need to upgrade those as well. That's probably what needs to happen. Yeah, dependency injection. Let's do that. I think web is dependent on core, so that's probably what's happening. Guess we'll have to update this one first. I think this is also written maybe with .NET Core 3. Okay, it's still not happy. So I might be able to update this to .NET 7 as well. That's more of a bigger project. Potential downgrade. No. I don't want to downgrade. I want upgrade, please. What? Why do you think I'm trying to downgrade? Clean the solution. Try this again. Update 3.4.6 from 3.0.5. Error reading. Could not find file. Okay. Potential downgrade. What? Okay. Isn't there a solution-wide deal here? Maybe that's what's going on. No, I don't know. Multiple versions installed. It still shows that little message there. Detected package. Downgrade. But I'm not trying to downgrade. What? What is going on? Well, this is what's called yak shaving. If you've never seen it before, now you're seeing it in action. A bunch of stuff that I didn't know I was going to have to do just to get other stuff working so they can get other stuff working. Warning, sorry. Detected package downgrade. 3.4.6 to 3.0.5. I don't know. I'll uninstall these, I guess. Okay. Yep, so now it's missing some things. That makes sense. So let's go back to this, and we're going to install those packages. What's this little warning message up here mean? Deprecated package. This one's deprecated. Application Insights. I don't think I use that. Okay. Going to install. Oh, it's not installed. Browse. Couchbase Net Client, latest. Yep. And dependency injection, latest. These are all being installed in the web. Okay, this is more like it because there are some namespace changes between versions. But wait a second. It said it was version 3, so this is in core. So maybe I don't have to go from 2 to 3. Maybe I just have to go from 3.0 to 3.5 or whatever the latest version is, which that would be good. That's even less work I have to do. Okay, dependency injection. Okay. All right. It looks like there is actually a minor kind of a breaking change. Some other fields that are part of this interface now that weren't in earlier versions. So that's interesting. But otherwise, at least it's compiling. So that's good. Now let's see if we can run some tests now. Look at that. Now those tests are in there. Okay, cool. Let's see how many pass. All the unit tests pass, so that's good. And now I've got these integration tests. Now, what do these do? Are these testing? This is testing to see that a Twitch comment is saved to the database. So I've got a mock Twitch client. So this is really just testing the database itself. Okay, which I don't have set up. I don't have set up to use yet. So, and I think I might want to start by using local Couchbase server before I attempt to go to Capella. So let's go ahead and add a bucket here. What did I call that bucket? See if I have a name. Okay, I'm going to take this off the screen because I'm worried I might be showing some credentials. If I look at the app settings, Twitch chat. Okay, there we go. So it's just Twitch chat. And it's going to be a really small bucket. No need anything fancy, especially for local development work. There we go. Okay. So one difference here is that I've actually got scopes and collections now. Now it comes with default and default. So I might want to stick with that to begin with. Not get anything too crazy. Just use default everything. And I think that will be fine. So I could, where are those tests at? I could try one of these integration tests and see what happens. It will probably not work, but let's try it. Okay. Okay, so it's saying it can't find a bucket. Also, there's authentication failure. Let me just see what those credentials are. I'm in development. Well, those are correct credentials, and there's the correct bucket name. So I think that's fine. It's just something else is broken. So this is basically it's setting up the hosted bot service, which is I gotta get used to these shortcuts. I've been going back and forth between Visual Studio and Writer, so the shortcuts are slightly different. So I'm a little out of sorts sometimes. Okay, so this is a hosted service. What this is that it's going to run kind of like a background service in ASP.NET, waiting for messages to arrive. And when that happens, this is a iHosted service. So it's going, when a message arrives, it's going to actually send off some work to something called Mediator, which I don't have to get into all the details there. But you can see it's got a timer type of stuff. So every hour, it publishes this, is it hour? Yeah, hour. It publishes a message to Mediator, which is a heartbeat, which can trigger different things to happen every hour or so. I think what it does is that it will, this is what I use to show kind of social media, like, hey, follow me on Twitter, at the top of the screen every so often, something like that. So, but this also is set up to receive messages, which I believe that is, yeah, so this is getting messages from Twitch. So when something happens on Twitch, someone types a message, someone joins the room, whatever, I can respond to those like a user has arrived. And so that's got some, that's a request. And of course, then there's a user has arrived handler somewhere, which is a mediator, which will get that message, and then it will do something based on that. So it will create user has arrived data, get their profile. There's a user profile as part of the chat system. And if they have some fanfare set up, which if I believe correctly, this was something that I had available for certain users, like subscribers maybe, that would get fanfare, like an entrance song, entrance graphic, things like that. So when they arrived to the chat for the first time, let's say Calvin did, he'd get a little special entrance to celebrate the fact that he joined. So anyway, what I'm interested in is, so this is setting up that hosted service, which is kind of a fake version because I'm using a faked Twitch client in Mediator, because I'm really just testing a database here. But so this service starts here, and then I'm creating some text, some message, and the username, right? And then this means I'm going to clean it up after the test is over. So it's an integration test, actually hits a database. I don't want that to stay in the database, so I remove it when the test is over. That's actually seeing this uses database. Where is it? Uses database base class. Back in black, says Calvin. All right, so this is my base class for integration testing that will set up a test cluster here, connect to a Couchbase cluster. You can insert documents, and at the end, it's going to destroy any of those documents that I inserted. So it's just a cleanup process there. So all this does is it's going to trigger this fake Twitch, so I don't actually have to connect to Twitch to make this work, to send a message. And then I want to see that when that happens, my hosted service receive the message, put it in the database. And to test that, see if that happens, I write a SQL query that's going to try to find that message in the test cluster, test database, and see if it's in there. And if it is in there, then the test passes. If it's not in there, the test fails. So I'm just going to step through this and kind of see where this test fails. So I can figure out, what's broken here. Teardown. Okay. Why are we in teardown already? I didn't get to the test yet. Okay, but let's look at the users database. Okay, so it's looking for a bucket name called tests. So I actually have a separate bucket for this test data I forgot about. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Give it all the minimum stuff. And I'll actually go ahead and put a primary index on there too. Because there's a SQL query. This needs to run, so put a really basic index on there so that query will work. So I'm guessing that's why this test failed. Okay, so there we go. We got the bucket set up. And let's go ahead and try it. No, not this. Not this. Here we go. Okay, so now it's passing. All right. And if we go look in the bucket, we'll see there's no data there because it's cleaned up. So nothing to see. I could potentially not clean it up just to demonstrate. It should still pass. It just will be there'll be some junk data in there. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So there's the junk data, and normally that gets cleaned up. So I'll go ahead and do that manually. But yeah, that's what this does automatically for me, is clean up any of that junk data. So look at that. I got all my tests passing. That's good. I don't nearly have enough tests. I will say that. Okay, so that one's passing. Let's run these one by one just to see what happens. Homepage info is shown. That's more of a, I think that's more of a web test, but anyway, so that's good. Okay. So if I run this now, I could potentially, again, hopefully, I don't know about if my Twitch API keys have expired. So that might be one thing I can look into. If I can remember where that is. It's under settings? Nope, nope, nope. It's under video producer, maybe? Streaming tools. Where are we going here? Oh, is it api.twitch.tv, something like that? Twitch API. Dev.twitch.tv. That's right. Okay. Now where? So here's the documentation I'm looking at, just to show you something interesting on the screen instead of a blank Visual Studio. Get started. Register your app. Developer console. There we go. So that's me. Take this off the screen real quick. Okay, so there's my chat bot. And it's got some certain URLs, which I think I need to change. Let me go ahead and close this other app down. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Actually, it looks like the client ID, if I bring up the app settings here, it's not changed. So I don't think I have to worry about it. So if this stops working, it's because the Twitch lib that I'm using is outdated. So let's just try launching it and see what happens. Is this going to run the web for me first? Connection is not private. That's interesting. got a 401 error. So I know that there's a, let me see how this works. Because what I had was I had some sort of bearer token. I needed on that end. I believe for development, it's just a plain text, easy to guess token. Which I can tell you what it's my token. Okay. The string my token, my token. So here we go. Here's the web page. It looks like it's working. Wasn't there some site we used to get that from by doing an OAuth dance? I'm not sure what you mean. Get the Twitch key from? Guy from Mars. Hey Matthew, it's been a long time. Hey Guy from Mars. 2 T's in Matthew, FYI. But what's going on? Thanks for joining. I'm just kind of getting things back up and running here again before I get my new green screen and all kinds of interesting stuff. Oh, so this bearer token thing is actually my own kind of homegrown bearer token. It's just really dumb checking to see if it matches the token. It's the same token all the time because this is only for my use, this website. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and copy this into Streamlabs. So here's the Streamlabs, a little behind the scenes. I paste in that URL here and show it, and now it should appear on the screen, I think. Doesn't seem to be doing that. Can I refresh it? Oh, I think it's because it's, yeah. It's just this SSL thing. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's not right either. Why isn't the, so it's working here fine. I think Streamlabs doesn't like it because of this security error. But why is there a security error? So, hey Calvin, what am I doing wrong here? My dev cert expired. Maybe. It's very possible. How do I renew that? Developer certificate. Developer command prompt. Okay. Okay, well, let's see. Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you, Calvin. I was just bringing that up. Okay. The self-side cert. Okay. Has only one command, HTTPS. So just go ahead and run that, you think? Let's bring up terminal here and see what happens. Says one's already valid. Okay. So what is the deal? Not sure. Yeah, it's been a while for me too. Usually it was a wizard that popped up and said, hey, you want to allow this or whatever. Maybe it's not trusted. Maybe try removing it from the store. The store? Oh, is that under, oh gosh. Certificate management console. Is that user certificates? Like this sort of deal right here? Certificate manager console. And then if there's, I don't want to necessarily show all this, but is there one that's like, let's see. Is one called Developer or Visual Studio? don't see anything like that. Oh gosh. Or .NET was run, right? .NET. Localhost. Localhost. Okay. There's a bunch of localhost ones. This one expires in 2039. Let's see. But these definitely all expired. Except for these two. And this one. And this one. All these other ones expired. Just delete these, you think? I think it's safe to do since they're expired anyway. Well, let's see. Some of these are personal, it says. Some of them are trusted root certification authorities. Can always regen localhost certs. All right. Take your word for it, Calvin. Let's go. Self-issued. Yeah, sure. Yep, they're all going. Everything must go. Okay? And then we'll go back to this guy again and see what happens. Okay? It still says one's already present. Could have sworn Visual Studio did this for me. Handle all this stuff. Let's just try running it again. Seeing what happens. Used to prompt when I couldn't find one in the store at all, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to shut it down. So what if I just delete every single one? Where'd that certificate thing go? This one right here, and we'll find certificates. More yak shaving. Just whack all of these, I guess. What do you think? Going crazy. Okay. I'll do it, but you're a rebel. Well, I'm a rebel too, Calvin. I'm crazy. Privacy error still. Yep. So I can bypass that and it works fine, but no certificate. Well, here's a Stack Overflow question. How do I force it? Okay, so we did this already. Deleted all the certificate manager. Yep. Secrets JSON must be deleted. What's in the launch settings, he asks. Again, let me just take this off screen in case there's anything sensitive in there. Launch settings. Okay, here's the launch settings. If there's anything sensitive. So this is what's running right here. Nothing out of the ordinary there, I don't think. Let's go back to this. Okay. Let's find this secrets JSON file. And there's a bunch of them. Let me just see what's in there. Okay. Oh, must be deleted, so I'll delete it. Why not? Again, I'm a rebel like Calvin. Deleting it. Okay, it's gone. Okay, now in PowerShell it says, which is right here. Whoops. Rerun. .NET Dev Certs HTTPS. Also, it says to put trust on there. So that's what Guy from Mars, I think, mentioned. Okay, now this is more like it. This is what I want to see. Okay, there we go. Now let's try it. If this works, Stack Overflow to the rescue. Ah, still not working. Certificate is not valid. Well, here it says it was issued on 2019. Maybe it's not aligning with that port you're using. You think there's a certificate it's just for a certain port? I don't know why I'm using that port. You may need to reopen and hard refresh browser. Okay. I'm okay with trying that. I could open up Chrome, in fact. Maybe I can't open Chrome. I've opened Chrome in so long, it's not working. Okay. Let's try an incognito. What was it? Localhost 5001. HTTPS. Chrome never trusts local certs. Oh, great. Well, I don't think that's true because I used to use Chrome all the time. And this is Brave, so it's not Chrome, but it's based on Chromium. Pretty sure. Oh, look at this. There's a clean operation. That's interesting. Let's look at that certificate manager some more. So there's localhost. There's the 2. Okay. Anything for Kestrel in there? ASP.NET. So they say they expire. You know, here's what I can do is I can shut down Brave completely. Why do you need HTTPS for local app? I don't think so, except that well, maybe you're onto something here. Like maybe I need to go turn that off. Let's see. Where is that? Doesn't look like it's on. Yeah, I don't see it in there. But it didn't work. So it works in the browser just fine because I bypassed it, right? But if I go to, oh, you know what? It's 5000 is the one without HTTPS. I think this is coming back to me now. This is all coming back to me. Okay. Is that showing up? That's not showing up on the stream, though, is it? Take HTTPS out of launch settings. Well, here's the other thing. And this is why HTTPS is important. So this app right now is local, yes. I eventually will deploy it to Azure because I don't want to have to run this locally all the time when I'm streaming. I want it to run on Azure. So I do want HTTPS to work. For whatever reason, the local certificate is not working. And it's still not showing up. Oh wait, hang on. HTTPS. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I got it working locally with Streamlabs, and yeah, I do have HSTS in the non-dev. HSTS. What's HSTS? Strict Transport Security Header. Oh. Does that just require HTTP? As it used to be something like app.force or HTTPS. Yeah, use HTTPS redirection. That's maybe what I'm thinking of. But HSTS, as you're saying, that's going to force TLS. Okay. Oh, the bot's ready again. Okay, so now I need to figure out if Twitch is actually working. And I think the way I can do that, one easy way I can do that, sounds a little more complicated, lol, but it may be something to keep in mind when deploying. See, the thing is, this was working, 2+ years ago when I was streaming. So maybe I knew what I was doing back then. I don't know. Nothing in the Twitch chat bucket. So what it should be doing is it should be storing every message in the chat into my database. And it doesn't look like it's doing that. Okay, yeah, so this is so this forces HTTPS. Okay. Great. Yeah, I always hated the redirection thing, so that's good. That's cool. Thank you, Calvin. So, the app is running, but doesn't appear to be working. Current revision for Twitch chat. Here's some log information. Just see if there's anything about Twitch API in here, or Twitch lib. This is where I was getting back to the bearer token. You're talking about the Twitch token? Because if I look at my Twitch developer console, I'm seeing a client ID and a client secret in there. You need a valid bearer token to communicate with Twitch. Okay, if that's something different than what was going on years ago, that may need to something I need to change. But I'm looking at the dev console right now. I'm seeing a client ID, and I can't show this to you because it's a secret thing, but it matches the one that I have in my configuration for this app. So what I think is occurring is that my Twitch lib is out of date. And there's one way to test that. I don't have any good tests for that, unfortunately. So what I can do is I can just kind of update the Twitch lib. So I have Twitch lib client, Twitch lib API by Lucky Number 11, who's coming to my channel every once in a while. So it looks like it's in all of these. Let's update to. So I don't necessarily want to go to 4. Hey, Code with Sean, what's going on? Good to see you. Just going to update twitchlib.client, see what happens. See what breaks, I guess. So far, so good. So I can go to a higher version, but those are like 4.0 previews, and so I don't necessarily want to do that just yet. Twitchlib.api, if I remember correctly, is not as important to actually have in my project at all, but let's go ahead and upgrade that to the latest version as well. You know, Calvin, you might be right about the bearer token. Actually, I'm thinking back to it now. And there's two different things. There's like a API token. There's also, maybe it's a separate thing for the Twitch client. I don't know. There was some site we used to get a key. Yeah, it's just kind of sounding familiar now. I got build errors. Okay. Okay, so here we go. TwitchLib API v5 is what I was on. No idea if that's the latest version or what. Let's just see what's in there. There's no V's at all in there. So again, the TwitchLib API, not super important, I don't think. That's not what's used for the chat and stuff. Oh my gosh, we got stuff breaking now. Oh my. So much stuff breaking. Yeah, this was what I used the API for. was to see if a user existed. And it looks like that's totally changed. Which would be fine, except token.decisus.com. Unofficial Twitch OAuth token generator. Huh. Okay, I'll just keep that open over there. Yeah, so this is my fake Twitch client. And there's lots of stuff that's broken here. So let's just implement some missing members. Yeah, this is all new stuff, I think. And then we got this stuff that's not there anymore, apparently. Just going to comment it out for now. Okay. So that'll at least get that to work. So it's just this. Just going to comment this out just to see what happens. Oh, that's going to not compile. Okay. Hey, it's NJ Groves. This is my brother. Are you programming your own AI? No, I'm not. I'm not programming my own AI. But I do have, somewhere here, good old ChatGPT available that I plan to use to help code a little bit. Is he as cool as the Grove City Groves? I mean, he's pretty cool. He's pretty okay. But he hasn't lived in Ohio, much less Grove City, for decades? Something like that? I don't know. I am the Groves. What is your rank now, NJ Groves? Tell everyone your rank. 2,000. You've lived 2,000. So yeah, 23 years since he last lived in Ohio. He has been to Grove City, yes. But no. He lives currently outside of Ohio. Thanks for joining. He moved to Ohio in 2004, so he took up the slack. Well, there you go. There was a period of 4 years where it was clearly Ohio's not as good as it could be. It was dire, yes. Oh, man. Unbelievable. Coding Bandit moved to Ohio in 2000. Well, there you go. Same year Nathan left. Okay, so maybe I can run this now. Okay, and so if everything's working how it's supposed to, we should see some stuff start to show up in this data here. So if you people start typing some messages into the chat, if this works, they'll show up here. Are you hacking Twitch? Kind of. Looks like my hacking is not working though. Lieutenant Colonel sounds fancy. It is fancy. Can you block all the ads? Come on, man. Be blocking the ads on Twitch. All those streamers. That's why they're here. To get some revenue. Okay, so that's not working. That's a bummer. I wonder if I can attach a debugger and see where it's going wrong. So I have these request handlers. It's going to store a message. So this is where I would expect it. Oh, look. Using default collection. So this should definitely be using async. Definitely change that. That didn't exist. Oh, not async, await. That did. What am I doing? That didn't exist when I wrote this. So that's one minor change to the Couchbase SDK. It used to be default collection was synchronous, and I think it still exists, but should be using async version. So anyway, all this looks good. Let's go ahead and catch the bugger and see what happens. Okay, I need more chat messages to test this. I'll try one. Here, I can put a message in there. Join Twitch today. Oh gosh. I'm not logged in? I'm not logged in on Streamlabs. I thought I was. Probably have to do, yeah, SMS type of thing. Okay. Increase your account security. Yeah. No thanks. Okay. I'm actually trying to work here. Changing URLs in Azure bots. Rough stuff. Test. Okay. There's my message now. Anything showing up yet? It's not hitting the breakpoint either. So that's not good. Where is store message used? It's got to be an endpoint, right? Twitch command. Okay, this is kind of sounding familiar. Twitch command request factory. Yep. So this is where all the messages come in. And they should hit a breakpoint here, but they're not. So this should be coming from here. This client on message received should be coming from here. So none of this is happening. Let me make sure, is this actually being used? Hello world. Very original. Man, I wasn't really aggravated today until the stream. I don't remember how we used to do any of this. I'm sorry for aggravating you. Yeah, this is... I should have left better notes for myself, I guess. But here's mediator. Oh, okay, I don't care about that. Add hosted service. There it is. $700 in AC repairs this morning. $700 is not too bad for an AC. That's I mean, it sucks. I'm not saying you shouldn't complain, but yeah, that's actually, you got off pretty good on that one, I think. I had some refrigerator trouble yesterday. I thought I was going to shell out a bunch of money for a new fridge, but I don't know. I moved it. I cleaned out the back of it, and it started working again. So maybe I just got lucky on that one. Anyway, this should be working. Hosted service. Let's see how this works. Integration test. Startup. I've got some notes in README. Maybe I help myself. Refrigerant and major chemical clean. The outside units definitely could have been worse. Yeah. You know, you can actually, it's something I do as well, is you just buy a bottle of this aerosol stuff. It's air conditioner cleaner. You spray it in there and let it sit, and then you can hose it out. Yeah, what are you doing here, Nathan? What is this? This does look like Python. Is this from ChatGPT, or did you just find this on Google somewhere? You had to shell out some coin on a new work rig. That won't hurt for a while. Yeah, so we're back to the Windows 11 thing again. Okay. It's from Bard. Okay, Bard is one of the ones I wanted to try. One of the things I'll be doing in this stream once we get started for real on the regular here is I'll be using ChatGPT and Bard and hopefully GitHub Copilot hopefully Copilot chat would be nice. What is this little thing doing? To compare and contrast them, to see, is there any difference between them? How that sort of thing. Is this your full-time job now? Streaming? No, not quite. That would be nice, but no, not quite. This is just part of my job at Couchbase. Is what I'll be doing once we get up and running. I have a project in mind, a specific project in mind, and more details of that when it comes. You make tens of dollars streaming. A couple of years back when I was going full blast, I made a little bit of money. Again, not enough to quit my job, but I made some beer money, I guess, by streaming. So it's not impossible. Now they got these new Twitch ads and stuff, these little banners that show up down here every once in a while. Probably make a penny or so from that every couple hours, right? I need more LEDs if it's full time. Where am I going to put these LEDs at? I do have this back here. If I can find a switch. Yeah, now you can't read it, but I do have this light box. I have LEDs around my TV over there, over that room over there. It's one of those adaptive lights, so like it is a little camera on top of the TV, and it'll sense the colors on the screen and change the LED colors around the back of the TV. So this is kind of a cool effect where like the color bleeds out from the back of the TV. So if there's like a bunch of fire on the screen, then the wall behind the TV will turn red, for instance. Pretty cool. Streaming buys beer. Well, beer money, for me it's more like Scotch money, but yeah. You need cat ear headphones too? Oh, yeah. I think my daughter has some cat ear headphones. But beer promotes streaming. I'm not quite sure what that means. If I drink more, then I will stream more? Anyway, so nothing's showing up here. Let me just look at these notes. Listen to myself. Uses a Twitch lib API to listen for incoming messages. The message will instantiate some request object. Oh, I get it. That kind of streaming. Wasn't there a... didn't I have a command that was like... like a... not sad trombone. I think it had a laugh message or something. A sound effect. Let me see. Where's my sound effects at? I don't know. Maybe they're in a configuration somewhere, but it was like applause or something. Sitcom laughter, that sort of thing. All right, I'm going to take this off screen here because I'm see if Calvin was onto something about some other kind of token. OAuth key. Yep, I'm seeing one right here, Calvin. I think you're absolutely right. There's an OAuth key that's separate from the Twitch API key. Okay, so there is one in here, but chances are that one is outdated or no longer valid. So, used to have a join action that did the hey Norm, something like that from Cheers. Just for the join. Okay, so let me close this. And then, so Calvin gave me a token generator, unofficial token generator. This is an unofficial token generator for the Twitch API. It includes the scopes for both the new Twitch API and the old API. So this is different than, well, okay. No warranty express reply, yeah. It would be nice if there was a official one somewhere that didn't come from Decisis.com. Well, it's open source at least. From possibly 3 years ago. Oh boy, this looks I don't know. I'm not going to say fishy. I'm sure it's fine. It just looks like it might be out of date. I don't know. Better than indecisive.com. All right. Here's the official Twitch documentation. Twitch APIs require access tokens to access resources. You need a user access token or an app access token. Third-party apps that call Twitch APIs and maintain an OAuth session must call the validate endpoint. So, is this... If the APIs you're calling require an OAuth app or user app access token, use one of the following flows to get the token. Use this flow if your app does not use a server. So that's not mine. Mine does use a server. App uses a server, can securely store a client secret, can make server-to-server requests to the Twitch API. Okay, that sounds like mine. Client credentials, grant flow. Apps need only an access app. So I think I am using this. I think that is the token, a separate token, but I think this is what I'm looking for here. Authorization code grant flow. Your app must get the user to authorize your app and use the authorization code to get a token. So this is all the stuff I've got to go through to get it. And this is why I think those apps exist. So, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to risk the Decisis, the Wrath of Decisis. What is it? Where was it again? Where's that URL at? Token.decisis. Let's give it a shot. What could possibly go wrong? Select one or more scopes. If I select all of them, I guess. Why not? Okay, so I just clicked it, and this is what I get on the screen. It says gone. So I'm guessing it doesn't work anymore. Client credentials is the JWT-like flow. Yeah. All your stream. Oh, I guess you hacked me. twitchapps.com/TMI. Okay. Worth a try. We'll just keep trying random sites until either it works or I get owned. Okay. I got something there. So now I have to paste it where you can't see because it is sensitive information. Okay, there we go. All pasted in. Let's try it again. Okay. So now I need you to enter something into the chat. Like what? Yeah, like exactly. Just like that. Anything? Hey! Da, 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 da. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that. Arrival messages. And here is Coding with Calvin's message, which says like what? And all the metadata that goes with it. And here's mine. That says test, exclamation point. So there we go. Now we're filling up a database. I cannot believe this is working. I barely changed anything. Now I know I've got something that's broken still, which is, I commented it out. Where was that? Look at that. Now Tane I can get into. You should build the OAuth flow right into your AppSense website. Yeah. It's too much work. You must specify user to Trout. There you go. Yeah, maybe that's something I'll do eventually. I don't even really know if I want to keep using this bot or not. Um, hey, does that site exist? Botornot.com? Okay. But what was the thing that it uses the Twitch API, like the V5 or whatever? Yeah, right here. What the heck is Trout? You don't know what Trout is? You must not have hung out with on IRC very much back in the day. I don't think you use the @ sign. Let's see what happens. Oh, not working because I closed the app down. Because I'm going to work on this. Yeah, so the whole thing's stopped. But yeah, IRC is /trout command. And what it does is, actually it might be an MIRC specific thing. I don't know. Let's look it up. Here's a Wikipedia article on it. Kind of. No, I don't think that's it. Let's see. Trout Slap. Yes, there we go. It's from MIRC specifically, but this was a very popular IRC client back in the day. We're talking late 90s when I was doing this type of stuff. But yeah, all it does is it just makes this message appear in IRC. IRC is a, well, you probably know what IRC is, right? It's a chat protocol. Before Slack existed, before Discord existed, there was IRC. And actually, if I remember this correctly, the Twitch chat, yes, it does. It backs the Twitch chat. It actually uses IRC still. So MIRC was as a client, and IRC was the protocol. But yeah, so I added a trout slap command. So someone slaps someone else with around a bit with a large trout is the session. It's probably a bit of a Monty Python reference, kind of, if you remember the trout slapping dance from Monty Python. I don't know. Anywho, so this part is busted. And I'm guessing because this V5 is the old version of the API. So there's this new Helix thing, which I've heard what that is. And I can get users, and can I... Oh, okay, let's see. Get user. You must demonstrate the trout slapping. Okay. I must demonstrate it. So I don't know if I can demonstrate, but Monty Python trout slap. See if I can, oh, it's called the fish slapping dance. Excuse me. Here's the best part. There you go. Classic Monty Python. All right, so I have this Helix API. I want to get a user by name. I don't see a get user by name option. Gets information about one or more specified Twitch users. Users are identified by optional user IDs and or login name. That looks like what I want. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring up ChatGPT. All right. Using TwitchLib API, write some code. TwitchLib API with Helix, I guess. I don't know. Write some code that returns. What do I want here? That returns. All I really didn't know if the user exists or not, but write some code that returns that finds a user by Twitch username if they exist. Let's see what happens. I probably should have specified C#, but TwitchLib.api is a .NET library, so think it's going to be able to do it. And it did. So here we go. Okay. So this is all the setup stuff. I already got this specified somewhere else. This is all I really want right here, is this portion. So we'll take that over here. Paste. All right. Yep. So that doesn't appear to be correct. Let's just do this. This doesn't appear to be... Okay. Interesting. So it's trying to use an array. Logins is valid, but let's do this. New array, username with no at. Okay, so what do we learn from this? ChatGPT got us about 80% of the way there. I don't... is that the correct type? User list response? No, it's get users response. So this should be get users response. So this was incorrect. All right. And also this is the weird thing about ChatGPT and async. I seem to have a problem with async. I'd be curious to see how Copilot handles this. But this method is async, but there is no await here. It's missing an await. It's also not an asynchronous main. So that's very weird that it sees async here, but puts no await and puts no, task of, just no task up here. It did the result method. Oh, yep, you're right. It did that, which is, that's no good either. Main can't be async. I think you're wrong about that. I think it can be async now. So it wrote you a console app. Yeah, it wrote me a console app, which is fine. But I think this part right here, it figured out the parameters for me, which seems to make sense. And that's actually really, really helpful. Now, what I should probably do is go to the TwitchLib documentation and see if that is, in fact, correct, which takes some more time for me to do. Maybe main can be async now. Yes, I believe it can. We could go and prove it out here if you wanted to, actually, but I'm pretty sure I've got one already in the oven, so to speak. So I keep a .NET project handy. Oh, you know what? I don't have that anymore. I used to have, so I still have a .NET project handy for helping to answer forum questions and Stack Overflow questions, just so I can paste their code and run. And it used to be async main, but now it's the minimal. What do they call it? The top level programs. There is no, I don't define a main at all. It's just code right there, top level. So I think behind the scenes, though, it is actually doing an async main. And I think it's been that way for a while, a few years at least. Anywho, what I want to look at is the documentation, general overview and example. Wait, no, I want the Twitch API. And I want to see specifically get users async. That's what I'm looking for. There's a class reference. And what I'm using is the logins parameter. So logins is user logins. Don't know what that means. This is login names, so I think that's probably right. I think ChatGPT came up with that part at least correctly. So okay, And this stuff, I was counting the total before. All I really need to do is just return true or false. So if length is greater than 0, all I need to do is return true. Don't need all that console.writeLine stuff. Return false. I think that's it. I could write a test for it. I probably should write a test for it. I would need to write an integration test, which means I need to instantiate the Twitch API object here. Oh, what happened there? So that would take some time to write that. I don't know if that's really worth doing. Oh, looks like the meeting that I was supposed to go to was canceled. I'm late for it, but it was canceled. So, great. Hey, that's more time for streaming. Which I've made a lot of progress here. So this I can probably refactor to just a return statement. And I like to use the var on that. Although in this situation, I probably should keep the class name there. So maybe I'll have some time to write a integration test. Okay, and this is Twitch API wrapper. Okay, and there's only one method in this wrapper. And so public async task does user exist. Okay, and I'll need a setup. This is a test fixture. Looks like some Copilot stuff going on here. I thought I had to pay extra for Copilot. I don't know. Maybe it's built into the enterprise version. I don't know. Let's see. Yep, it definitely worked. Oh, you did a .NET Fiddle. Oh, of task main. Okay. Yeah, cool. IntelliCode? Yeah. Isn't IntelliCode the same thing as GitHub Copilot, or wait, two different things I'm talking about here? I don't know. Oh, negative. Okay. So GitHub Copilot is where you have like a you put in a comment, or it's like write a test for the Twitch API wrapper function of does user exist, and then the GitHub Copilot, I don't know, it might be a special thing or something, and that turns that into code. Is that what GitHub Copilot is? I don't know, something like that. Okay, well, they're two different things. That's cool. Okay, so for this setup, I need to instantiate an actual Twitch API wrapper. Why isn't it? Oh, yeah, okay. I need a Twitch API. That doesn't need to be underscore, I don't think. I'm using it in VS Code. It's been somewhat helpful at times, but mostly with writing comments themselves. Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of things that I need to look into. Like, I feel like a lot of the value of LLMs can be not necessarily in writing code. I think it can help, as we just saw. Well, hopefully we'll see if this test works. But it can be very helpful in reading code and generating comments for code, or explaining code, or possibly diagnosing, like, hey, why is there a memory leak in this code? That sort of thing. Like, I feel like that could be a lot of the value. You know, people often think about, writing code. How can this write code? It's going to put us out of a job because it's going to write the code for us. I think of it as, we spend more time as developers, I think, we should anyway, reading code than we do writing code. And so if we have tools that make it easier for us to read and understand code that I've never touched before, that is a tremendous value. And that can provide a lot better productivity to developers, I think. Of course, there's lots of things about that can help with the writing code. But as we just saw, it can be helpful, but you have to actually have some expertise to understand, is this what it's generating? Is this going to actually work, sort of thing. On New Relic at CodeStream, you collect stack traces and errors, and you've been adding a feature to say what's causing this error, fix this error in my code. That kind of stuff. And maybe not just fix the error. I don't know if I want to blindly accept, a fix, but if it can identify suggestions like, oh, it might be an error because of this, or there's possibly a null reference here that you didn't think about, that sort of stuff. You use AI to name variables and functions because naming is hard. I waste so much time trying to name things before. That's a really good idea, actually. Like, suppose I was, creating this function and I called it foo. I did a bunch of testing in here, line 1, line 2, line 3, whatever. And then I take this code, once I've actually got the test running, and say, come up with a function name for this test. That could be very, very helpful. We only modify your local copy, so definitely no auto-approve kind of thing. Yeah, right. I understand. But so it modifies your local copy, and then, as long as you know what's changed, so you can do a diff or whatever, you can see, okay, what did it change, and then why did it change it, and then does the change make sense, that sort of thing. Okay, so I've got to instantiate a new Twitch API. How do I do that in the startup? I do it like this. Well, that's easy enough. Okay. New Twitch API. Then I just got to give it the client ID and secret. What? Yeah, it does. Twitch API wrapper has 0 parameters, but is invoked with what? Twitch API wrapper. Oh, gosh. Let's see. It's stuff I look forward to. Not so much the hey AI will write your business application for you. Yeah, I do not see that happening. I mean, I say that, but I think ChatGPT took me at least by incredible surprise. Like, before that was made public, and even to some extent before DALL-E was made public, like, I didn't think any of that stuff would ever happen in my lifetime. Hey, thanks for joining, Calvin. Appreciate your help today. Have a good one. So, it's possible that I could see LLMs or whatever creating like a CRUD over data type of app. I can see that happening, but that kind of stuff has already been I generate that with scaffolding and things, right? So I see it being a very, very helpful tool, and that's what I wanted. One of my goals of this stream is to kind of suss out like how helpful are these tools in coding, understanding code, fixing code, making suggestions, and how do they compare to one another? How good is Bard versus Copilot versus ChatGPT? 90% of enterprise apps are CRUD. Enterprise in quotes. Maybe, maybe. I work for a company that, we are a database that specializes in large scale, not exclusively, but large scale systems, right? And so it's not just CRUD from my point of view, but of course we're very much a different sort of place than say, when I used to work for a consulting company where, a lot of the projects were glorified CRUD apps, right? But the last company I worked for, product company I worked for, it was far more than a CRUD app, right? And I don't know if I would consider it enterprise. I guess so, but it was a product. It was highly configurable, highly specialized. It was a tremendous product, but very, very complex. But I think, and they might already be exploring this, I don't know. I don't talk to them on a daily basis anymore, but that is a code base that could benefit a lot from throwing some functions into ChatGPT and saying, what does this code do, right? Or what are some potential bugs in this code? Was it an app or an orchestration? I'm not sure what you mean by orchestration. It was an ASP.NET application, I guess, and it used relational database. It used a search database. It used some, I think it sounds some background processing and a lot of customization, a lot of settings to manage. And a lot of it was, it would generate workflows. It was workflow building and workflow management tool essentially, but specialized, more specialized than that. Anywho, okay, I got to pull these from somewhere. And what is the problem with this new Twitch API? Oh, because Twitch API wrapper. Because okay, the problem here is my test fixture is the same name as my class, so I need to change this to. It should have been in a folder anyway. Twitch API wrapper tests. Workflow Foundation. Right, it wasn't like that, because Workflow Foundation you would use as part of an app, I think. I vaguely remember a presentation of Workflow Foundations from way back in the day. Okay, I gotta change the name of this. Okay, that's the problem. So my test fixture was the same name as the class I was trying the class under test. So. Okay, what I'm trying to test is, does user exist? Okay. Now, what's the best way to get, these are in my app settings file. What's the best way to get them into a test fixture? Could I just do this? Will this work? Is this still called? Oh, yeah, it should be. Well, configuration doesn't exist here. All right, it's time to go back to ChatGPT. How can I get settings from app settings.json in a web project while I'm in a test project in the same solution? Does that make sense? In C#, in a C# and unit test and unit test fixture. How can I get settings from app settings.json in a web project while I'm in a test project, in a different test project in the same solution? Let's see what it has to say. Use a configuration builder class from Microsoft Extensions Configuration. In your web project, create a method that retrieves the settings from app settings.json and return OK. In your test project, reference the project where the configuration helper class is defined. I don't know if I want to do, I don't want to reference. Oh yeah, I can reference. Is there a configuration helper already? No, there's just this configuration. But can I say startup.configuration? Is that going to actually... That's not static though. I can't use that directly. So that's why it's saying make a configuration helper. In your test fixture, retrieve the configuration using get configuration method of the configuration helper. I don't... You can mock what you need. I don't want to mock it because I want to actually hit a real Twitch API. So I want these to be the actual API client ID and API client secret. I don't want to have to copy those into a separate file, because right now they're in appsettings.json, those values. I want to be able to use that same thing, but in my test project, if that makes sense. So integrate. Yes, this is an integration test for sure. Notice it's an integration tests folder here. Yeah. Just trying to see if what ChatGPT is saying makes sense. Okay, I just take this part right here, just for now. I might need to rewrite this, but you're multitasking. It's not allowed. You need to have full focus on this Twitch stream. App context base directory. So I don't know if that's... well, we can just find out, I guess. Let's change this configuration. And let's just do a quick assert. I don't know. Let's do this. I'll make this an actual test. How's that? It's just going to be a delete me. And I'm going to okay, underscore. Get rid of all that. I don't need this just yet. I just want to assert that API client ID is not null or is not null and is not empty. So if that passes, then this works. If it helps, I'm giving the stream full focus, but I don't know what is going on. I'm hacking the mainframe. Hey, that seemed to work. Okay. Okay, that's pretty great. I'm just doing ChatGPT verbatim, pretty much. Okay, and so now I can just say we're going to do arrange act assert. There's the 3 steps for testing. So let's just try NJ Grove. Let's hard code it there, and we'll see. Wrapper does user exist, username NJ Groves, and assert. Assert that result is, is true. So let's see if NJ Groves actually exists. Okay, bad credentials. Okay. So maybe it's not working. Okay, I'm going to take this off the screen. Trail successfully inserted into mainframe. I'll take this off the screen because I'm going to debug this, but it's going to show some potentially sensitive information. So let's see what happens here. Aha, okay. I see the problem. Yep, okay. The problem here is I'm using appsettings.json. I should be using appsettings.development.json. And probably I should, I don't know. Maybe I should have one called appsettings.integrationtest.json. Anyway, this should work now. I inserted a halibut instead of a trout. Yep, that's what happened. Okay, still blocked. Alright, I'll take it off the screen here again. What is the problem now? Seems to be getting the right ones. Okay, well, that's not, whoops. You didn't see that. It's okay. There's nothing sensitive on that one. Just use secrets. Keep it out of the files entirely. Yeah. Gosh, when I go to Azure, what I do is I make them. They are. It's an Azure App Service, so I just use the settings there, and that overrides any of the app setting stuff. But I'm not there just yet. Okay. So these values are correct, as far as I know, but it's possible they are outdated or something, because those are matching what I'm seeing. But I'm going to try putting a new secret in there and see what happens. New secret. Okay. And over here. And I'll just recopy the client ID just in case. Technically, I can show you the client ID. That's not sensitive, but I'm not going to show it to you anyway. All right. It's a secret to everyone. Yep, that's right. All right. Well, are we sure NJ Groves actually exists? I suppose that's a possibility. Your request was blocked due to bad credentials. Do you have the right scope for your access token? Pretty sure I do. There's no scope settings here. See, I'm looking at the screen. I can't show you because it is sensitive information. This is a ghost chatting. I don't exist. I've been dead for 73 years. I died on this very day in an IRC chat room. And this Twitch chat was built on the burial grounds. Okay, well, this is annoying. So this is actually working. So ChatGPT, A+ there. You gave me some code that actually works. It's getting the right tokens. I'm passing them into the API. Pass them into the wrapper. And then where it fails is when it actually makes this call right here. It says, hey, those tokens, those aren't valid. That's the error message I'm getting. This message right here. Your request was blocked due to bad credentials. Bad credentials. I wonder, let's see. No. That's nothing there. Like if I go to register an application, there's nothing that says scope here. There's nothing like, I see your issue. You are assuming that Twitch is programmed correctly. So much Twitch hate from you, NJ Groves. My experience with Twitch has been mostly positive. Of course, there are bugs. All software has bugs. But anyway, so this is where I put my URLs, which would be localhost and Azure, whatever. This is the name of the app. It can be whatever I want to. And here's the category, which I think I called loyalty tool. Loyalty. Loyalty tool? Did everybody see that? Speaking of bugs, there's a typo. Loyalty tool. Can use Postman to test outside of code. Maybe. You're saying take those take those tokens and put them into Postman instead of going through C# and see if it works there. And if it does, then that means it's a C# issue. Maybe. Let's see. Authentication. Twitch API. Let's see. Just to see if it is in fact the token. Yeah. I see where you're going with this. Can you use the 1995 movie The Postman to test? Starring Kevin Costner and who was the singer? Tom Petty. Tom Petty was in there. I would call it a cameo, but it was actually a pretty significant role. And I can't remember anybody else in the movie besides Kevin Costner and Tom Petty. I do like it though. It's a good movie. It's one of those Kevin Costner, like it came after Waterworld. It was a similar kind of post-apocalyptic movie, and it got panned. But I think it was a pretty good movie. Will Patton, somebody else you might recognize. Yes, R.I.P. Tom Petty. Here he is. He's the Bridge City mayor. That's kind of a minor spoiler alert, by the way. Not that, I think the statute of limitations has long passed on the Kevin Costner 1997 movie, The Postman. But no, Postman, Nathan, is actually a very handy tool for testing APIs of all kinds. Mostly HTTP APIs. Here is the Postman. Or it's just called Postman, not the Postman. But what Coding Ben is suggesting is I just go to that API directly in Postman and skip all the C# stuff just to make sure that the key that I've got is actually correct. So I could potentially do that if I could figure out what the actual API is for that. This is all about polls, chat and chatbots. I have no clue what the endpoint is. Yeah, neither do I. That's why I'm looking at the documentation here. But here, look at that, IRC commands. But I want to be able to find, like, where's the API to basically do what I'm doing here, which is get users. I don't see that in this documentation. User access token. The endpoint of the Postman is rebuilding the country after a nuclear apocalypse. That's right. Well, I can't really find it in here. The get user endpoint. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is different. I like this. It's just under reference. I should have used that. Is there a get user? Here we go. Get users. There it is. Well, thank you. So here is an example request. So I could just actually, one cool thing about Postman is, notice this curl here. This curl is very much a Linux type of command. You can't really just do a curl on Windows. Well, maybe you can, I don't know. It didn't always been the case, but I could just go ahead and import and paste a curl statement right in there, and that will turn it into a Postman request for me. Pretty darn cool. Now here's where I have to put in the my token. So I don't think this is going to work, right? Yeah, because that's not a real token. So I have to actually paste those in, but I can't show you those because those are sensitive. So I have to take that off screen. This is where it gets nice and boring for the people watching. So I'm doing all kinds of interesting stuff off the side of this, my second screen that you can't see. So there's a client ID. And, oops, wrong window. There is the secret, which I assume goes in authorization. Okay, so it's saying unauthorized when I do that. So it might be onto something here, is that it's not the correct token. So what is the correct token? Where is my, oh, there's so many windows open over here, crying out loud. This application. Just wondering if there's something that I'm missing here. Go through one of the flows. Well, I mean, so this is not OAuth. This is something different. This is actually just a bearer token that that the Twitch API uses, the REST API. Let's see. I think I'm going to ask ChatGPT, how do I get a client ID and client secret for use with the Twitch Helix API? That seems to be the name for the latest API. All right. Dashboard. This is all the stuff that I've done. So dashboard, applications page, registry application, yep. Fill in the information, yep. Yep, did that. Create, yep. And you have a client ID and client secret. So that's what I've got. So those are all the things that I have already. So I don't know what's going on here. It's a little confusing. Right, so here's the dashboard it's talking about, right? If I register your application, here's what I put in the name of the application, redirect URLs. So it is OAuth, I guess, but I mean, this is where I put in the URL and I have a, what is the endpoint called? It's if you look for, it's called Sign In Twitch. Which it's supposed to be hosted on my website somewhere. Authentication controller. No, that's not it, is it? No, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. Add Twitch authentication. And what this does is it creates an endpoint for that to use, which is called signin-twitch. Typically, you need to request a token using the client ID secret, and it gives you an access token. Then use that token on subsequent calls until it expires. So if you remember back up to here, this is interesting because this snippet only shows client ID. It doesn't show the secret on there. Well, I don't know. I think I'm running out of time, though. Is there a token endpoint somewhere? Maybe. So many windows. I don't see a token endpoint, but I mean, if you look here, this is what it's saying to do. Pass in the bearer token and the client ID, and this must be the secret. Server to server API request to use an app access token. Request succeeded, returns an access token. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Aaron? Thanks for joining. First time chat. Wow, look at you. This spider was dead. It drowned or something. Chlorine poisoning. Who knows? I'll show you what he's talking about here. This was in my pool skimmer. And this is a picture of the spider from just not very long ago, a couple hours ago. And there's the spider, and this is a Kroger Plus shopping cart, about the size of a credit card, just for scale. That's how big. Biggest spider I've ever seen in person in my life, not counting the zoo or something. Did I cut? No, I just brushed it off into the grass for the ants or whoever to take care of. Yeah, it's a big fella. Yeah, I have not seen anything bigger in person in my life, except for, like I said, the zoo. They have, or the pet store. They got tarantulas and stuff like that. This is not as big as a tarantula, but it's a big one. It's a real big one. So, all right, access token is the bearer token. So, I don't know. I'm not sure, Coding Ben. It doesn't really follow, I don't think, in my experience using this. I think this is more along the lines of, so there's two different APIs. There's the actual REST API, and then there is the the chat API. If I remember correctly, there's like two different worlds here, and this is what's used for the chat API. That's what we were messing with earlier. That I had to go through the OAuth thing to get, which is what Calvin was saying. Yeah, go through the process in your web app, do the whole thing yourself, or I could have someone else do it. But then the actual REST API uses this whole different set of credentials, where you have to pass in the client ID and the bearer token. So even if I got an access token, it's still, you're saying put the access token here and use the client ID. Then what is the point, I wonder, of the secret that I set up with that API token? So I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just I don't think that's the right way to go. But I really don't have any more leads at this point. I don't know what's going on. This is what it was supposed to put in something like this command and get this response back out. The secret is to get the access token. You seem very certain of that. The client ID is usually an OAuth 2 thing. So you just arrived, Aaron. I'll kind of show you what I was looking at here. If I can find the right window. Crying out loud. Okay. I'm trying not to show stuff that's sensitive here, but if you go to the developer console, you have applications here, and this is my application. But if I'm going to, this is what it looks like, except I don't want to show you the sensitive version. I put in, arbitrary name here. I put in the URLs, which is whatever, /signin Twitch, whatever that is. Oh, it's got to use HTTPS. Fine. Oh, maybe that's the issue. Maybe it's because HTTPS isn't working. Aha! I think that could be it. And then I select a category. And what I do when I create this, it gives me a client ID and it gives me a secret. right? And I'm thinking that might be the issue, is HTTPS. So you have the client ID and the secret, and I pass those into the REST API, and then I can start executing commands. But here is an issue. Maybe you can help with this, Aaron. Is if I run this web app locally, it works, except that, oh, hang on. We had some certificate issues. Is it going to load up or what? Here, come on. So here it is, running just fine locally. But if I try the HTTPS 5001, I get a privacy error because it's a some sort of cert issue. The only thing worse than DNS is cert issue. So we went through this, and oh, it's not working. The trout should be working. It's interesting. It might. Well, no. Did it crash? I must have ended it or something. Yeah. So anyway, I went through the whole certificate thing. Find certificates, localhost. Right. So there's 2 of them, and they're not expired yet, because what I did earlier is I deleted all the certificates, and then I did .NET dev certs HTTPS trust to generate new ones. So it says successful, but yet privacy error. So what happened? Any idea? I think that might be the issue, is that it's trying to redirect back to HTTPS and fail. This is Brave, so it's using Chromium behind the scenes, right? But yeah, Brave. One thing I haven't tried yet is shutting down Brave completely and restarting it. I don't know if that's possibly the issue, because I did regenerate certificates. Maybe it's caching them or something. I don't know. But it's saying here it has it expires in 2020, which I don't know. I don't think that's any of them expire in 2020. It should read certs from registry. Yeah, I agree. Oh, now the site's down. Yep. So there we go. And still says it expires in 2020, which I don't know. So you restart Brave, is that what you're saying? Okay. I guess I can do that. I got tons of windows to close down. It's just fine. Close all. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure I got all of them. Opening Task Manager here. Don't see any in there. Oh, wait, there's Brave Crash Handler. That's interesting. I closed Brave, but the Brave Crash Handler is still running. You think it's okay to kill those? Have you cleared your cookies and updated McAfee? Or is it McAfee? I don't know. I used to say McAfee. I don't know if that's correct or not. Because it was always text back in the day. Cleared my cookies. No, I didn't clear my cookies, but that has nothing to do with certs. And as far as McAfee, I haven't run McAfee since 1995, probably. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm going to assume Brave Crash Handler can live, and let's open Brave back up. If you bake some cookies, at least. I did not bake cookies, but I had some cookies. I had a cookie last night. I had a chocolate chip cookie. Oh, I'm just now seeing all these tweets responding to my spider picture. People all freaking out. Burn down the house and move. burned down the house and they're moving. Everyone says burn it down. Okay. So I got Brave restarted. Let's try it again. Dun dun dun. Privacy error still. And it still says 2020. Refresh. Is there like a cache? Refresh certificate cache or something? How to force browser to fetch new SSL certificate. Does it have Chrome? Yeah, I think it does. Chrome settings. Yeah. What are we looking for here? Certificates? Privacy and security in the side menu. Okay. Advanced manage certificates. Let's see. Where's advanced? What am I seeing here? Oh, nope. Privacy and security. This might be different than Chrome, right? Security. I don't see. Oh, here's certificates. Okay. So this is just bringing up the Windows view, right? See if anything here. Trusted root certificates. There's localhost, but these are all. You got to make sure that you have it in the Trusted Root Certificate Authority. There's localhost right there. Yep. See, it was just generated today. Is it the same cert? Same cert as what? The web server is running. I don't know. I'm just running, console web app here. Yeah, okay. I believe you, but I'm not running IIS Express. It's probably Kestrel, right? So go back and look at your local signed cert. Yep, this one right here. Right there. Yeah. Go to details. Yep. Details. Valid from today. It's for a year from now. Serial number. Okay. Yep, there it is. Match that against what the browser is using. Okay, so let's just do a print screen of this then. Okay. So close that down and we go to here and certificate. SHA 256, it's does not match. Details in Chrome? Oh, details. Fingerprint. I mean, it's the same thing it was showing, right? Oh, serial number is what you wanted. Yeah, serial number. So they're not the same. Nope. Nope, not the same. Why would that be? Visual Studio isn't using the one you created, okay? Restart Visual Studio. You know what? I actually don't know if I did that last time or not. That might be worth trying. I mean, that actually could 100% be the issue. Let's find out. I thought I restarted it, but maybe I didn't. I'm going to shut down probably about 5 minutes from now. Well, this is different. Okay. Trust the IS Express SSL certificate. Use hot reload. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think I'm using hot reload. About to install a certificate. I already did that last time. But yeah. This is all good. This is good. But, still getting an error. That seems to be the same serial number from before. It's an authority error. Okay, yeah, I think that's what was happening already. Advanced. I'm going to go to advanced, huh? Details. Oh, on that page. Well, on this page. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can proceed. If I do that, it'll work. It's just, yeah, I know it. I know it. Oh wait. Oh yeah, because I have to have. You have to have this. Yeah. So I know this will work. Yes. It's just I get this security error, which is what I think the Twitch API is not happy about. That's my hypothesis. And you know, I want this to I want this to work locally, even if I don't need it. I still want it to work locally. Yeah, it is really weird. Can we do a clean? Can do that. Close the browser. Close the browser. Close it all. All right. Let's run it again. Oh, I think that's working. Yay. Burn it down. Much like my house. Oh wait, now it's showing the not secure. Wait, it was I swear. What the heck? Now it's saying not secure again. Okay. 401 error is what should be happening. Oh, okay. So it's still showing an error. It shouldn't warn. Yeah, it shouldn't warn me. Okay, this is what should be happening. A 401 should be happening here because the root page is nothing. But when I go to this, it should not give me this error. It's still showing the same old serial number. Yeah, and the same expiration. You know, this might be a full restart type of situation. I don't. Ah, gosh. Okay. Oh, hang on. I'm about to shut it down, but Aaron says wait. So I will wait. See if he has an idea. Check the two serial numbers again. Okay. So this is the serial number of what Brave says. And I want to go to certificate manager of this one. Serial number. Different. Yeah, the dates aren't the same. No, right, because this one is valid from today to a year from now. This one is 2019 to 2020. Nope, they still aren't the same. Which doesn't make any darn sense. Doesn't make any sense. Here it is. Okay, well, I don't know. This might be a full Windows restart. Maybe that'll shake something loose. I have no idea. But it is 5:01 right now, and I don't want to belabor this anymore. I do want to say thank you to everybody who came by to help me shake the dust off on Twitch here. Still got some work to do, but made a lot of progress today and kind of got back in the swing of things. So thank you, everybody, and I'll let you know when I have a more regular schedule coming up. I've got a big project in mind that I'll be working on here on Twitch, sharing a journey along the way. And oh, thanks, Coding Bandit, I appreciate it. Some of it felt like riding a bicycle. I was like, okay, yeah, I remember how this works. Some of it was a little bit, oh, how in the world did I do this last time? But this is great. So thank you very much for coming by, everybody, and I hope you have a good one. Yes, let's go watch The Postman now. NJ Groves and I are going to watch The Postman. We're gonna back to back Waterworld and Postman. So we're gonna do that tonight. So, all right, everybody, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.